Local programming on KRWG made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Fronteras, A Changing America. I'm Monica Ortiz Uribe. Those of us who live on the border make use of our passports a lot more frequently. If you cross into Mexico, you need one to get back into the country, even if you've just gone for a day. If you don't have a passport or you're thinking about getting a passport, our guest today will help us walk through the process. Her name is Jennifer Archibeque, and she's with the El Paso Passport Agency. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you, Monica. It's great to be here.
So this is a dated question, but I'll ask it anyway for those of us who don't know. Why do you need a passport to come back from Mexico, even if you're just coming across the international bridge? It used to be you could simply state your citizenship if you were American.
Right. Well, times have changed a lot. After 9/11, there was an initiative passed called the Western Hemisphere Travel Initiative, in which a passport was required to re-enter the United States. So now, I mean, things have changed a little bit, and you do need to have your passport. It also makes the process faster. You can cross the border faster if you have your passport, because you can just put it on. If you have a card, for example, and you're crossing the bridge by foot, you just put your card on a little area. They can see your information come up, and you're through. Now, if you're crossing another way, you may get called to secondary, and it may just take you a little longer to get across the border. But really, a passport is required.
Yeah. So for those, if listeners have, or sorry, viewers have not crossed into Juarez in a long time, they may not think they need a passport, but that's a new requirement.
It is. I mean, it's not that new anymore. I think it's been since 2008 now, and we're already in 2014. But it's. It might be new to some people who hadn't been crossing the border, and now they are going back into Mexico and wanting to cross. They should get their passport. And for frequent border crossers, the passport card, if you only cross from the United States, from Mexico to the United States, or from Canada to the United States, you can get the card, which is a less expensive alternative for residents along the U.S.-Mexico border.
So there's the passport booklet, which
you need to fly on an international flight.
Okay, for flights, okay.
International.
And explain what this passport card is.
Okay, so the passport card was introduced as a less expensive alternative for residents along the U.S.-Mexico and U.S.-Canadian borders. You can use it at some Caribbean seaports of entry as well, and on some closed-loop cruises. So it's less expensive. It's still proof of identity and citizenship. It's still good for 10 years, just like the book. You just cannot use it to board an international flight because, they can't stamp a card. So you can use it to cross back and forth. It's proof of ID and citizenship. It's wallet-sized. So
like a driver's license?
Yeah, kind of. Okay. Except that it's not only proof of ID, but citizenship as well.
Okay, and that's available to people who live along the border.
Right, and anybody, actually. Anybody can apply for the book and the card at the same time on the same application if they wish to do so. For example, I have a book and a card. When I travel internationally, I may keep my book in the safe and carry my card in the wallet, and then I'm sure to have some proof of citizenship whenever I travel.
Okay, so the card might be a good option for someone who doesn't plan to travel overseas per se on an airplane, but is just going back and forward between either the U.S. and Mexico.
Yeah,
or the
if they
US
never
and
take
Canada.
International flights, then they may not ever need a book. But if they do cross frequently from Mexico to the U.S., then yeah, the card is probably one of their best options. You can also use the card in the ready lanes, which make your trip faster.
What's a ready lane?
So a ready lane is whenever you go across the border, you can get in a special lane, and you basically have your card out, and there's something that reads it. There's a card reader, so that the official at the port of entry can see your information before you get there, sees if who you are and everything. Then you get up to the official, and sometimes they just can wave you through. So it's faster than waiting in a line.
Yeah, and we know that those lines are long enough as it is.
Yeah, I haven't been there lately, but I've heard that sometimes they can be during peak hours.
Yeah, it can be an hour or 2 hour long to cross back. So I guess anything that makes it faster
Right.
is something welcome.
Useful.
Well, then how do you go about, where do you go to get a passport,
Okay.
and what do you need?
Well, in this area, we have passport acceptance facilities, and they're post offices, clerks of court. The University of Texas at El Paso has a passport acceptance facility in there. The Las Cruces main post office in Las Cruces accepts passports. They do it in Silver City and some other post offices where they just accept the application. You can apply there. It takes 4 to 6 weeks, and they mail it to the Department of State. Then the Department of State takes the application and processes it. What do you need? You asked. So you need a passport application form, which you can download at travel.state.gov, our website.
Travel.state.gov,
Yes.
okay.
You need one passport photo in color taken within the last 6 months.
And where do you get those taken?
You could get those at any commercial entity. I can't recommend one over another, but there are
Like
lots
a
of places
Walgreens
that,
or
yeah, some of those places, they
Okay.
take passport photos for you, and it's a certain size. It's 2 by 2 in color with a white background. You also need your proof of citizenship, so a U.S. birth certificate, a previous passport, a consular report of birth abroad if you were born abroad and you're a U.S. citizen, a naturalization certificate, a citizenship certificate, and with those things and your valid government issued photo ID and payment, you can apply for a passport.
Okay, so and can you find this? It's a long list of
Yeah.
things. You can find them on the website.
You can. All of this is listed at travel.state.gov. There's even a nice little place on the website where you can go and you can print out the whole application. Now, you can't apply online. All applicants who are first-time applicants must apply in person, but you can put in your information, print it out, have your photo, attach your photo to it, and then you come in person to apply. And minors must, if you have minor children, 15 and under, they must come in person as well. You can't apply for them if they're not there. We have to see them. And also both parents have to consent to the issuance of the passport. So either both parents sign or the non-applying parent has to fill out a notarized consent form, which also can be found on travel.state.gov.
If both parents can't be present? You said?
Right, if both parents
Okay.
can't be present.
Okay.
And so there are cases where one parent has sole legal custody, and in those cases the parent with sole legal custody needs to bring that court order.
Okay.
Showing that they have sole legal custody. But if you have an order that says joint custody, then both parents must consent to the issuance, unless there's some special provision in your court order.
This sounds like serious business
Yeah,
to get
it
a
is.
passport.
We definitely want to document children, American children. It's, you prevent against identity theft if you document your children early, but it's also, we want to prevent against child abduction. So we're careful with the issuance of the passport for minors. And for minors, the passport's good for 5 years. So that if circumstances change, then their passport applications will be reviewed again.
How young
in 5 years.
can you get
You can take them when they are infants
Really?
and start getting them documented that early.
have a little baby photo on your passport?
Exactly, and then
Okay.
it'll expire in 5 years, and then you renew it again, and
Okay.
it's a good way to document your citizenship.
And so again, the places where you can go include the post office, a county courthouse?
Right. The clerks of court here in Las Cruces, or in the Las Cruces area, it's only at the Las Cruces main post office right now.
Okay.
The clerks of court and in our surrounding areas do them sometimes, but the best way to find out is to go online, and you can put in where to apply, type in your zip code, and it'll tell you the nearest passport acceptance facility. Now, of course, I mentioned earlier it takes 4 to 6 weeks, so people need to think about applying in advance. But the El Paso Passport Agency, located at 303 North Oregon Street in the Mills Building,
This is downtown
that's
El Paso?
downtown El Paso, is the closest place where you can go. Say you win a trip to Spain or something.
Wow.
And
Are you giving those
haven't-
away?
No, I wish. And you have the opportunity to do something like that, and you check and you don't have a passport, or your passport's expired, or you've never gotten one. The closest place to get an expedite passport is the El Paso Passport Agency. And it's a $60 expedite fee normally when you come in, along with the passport fees. depending on your age and what you're getting, the fees vary, and those are also online at travel.state.gov.
Okay.
For example, a book for an adult first-time applicant is $135.
$135
and a
for
card is
first time.
$55. But you know, this is good for
Okay.
10 years
I
for an
see.
adult.
Okay.
You could come to the agency. We take walk-ins generally, and we're having a special event on Saturday, May 2nd, where we're opening on a Saturday, which we normally don't do, but we do it. We try to do it at least once a year.
Okay.
That way, if you've got young children, you don't have to take them out of school. You can bring them in on a Saturday without an appointment. And guess what? Even better, you don't pay for expedite service unless you truly need it. Normally, we only do expedite service, but on that Saturday, if you need it in a week or less, then you'll pay the additional $60. But if you just need routine, you know, you're going to travel in July and June, then you can apply for routine service, and you're still going to get it pretty quickly.
So you say normally your downtown office in El
Right.
Paso
We're-
only does expedited
We
passport
only do
services.
normally, but on this special
But-
Saturday, May 2nd, from 8 to 1, we're going to be open, and we're taking everybody for routine service. And it's a service we do to the public. You know, we provide at least once a year, so that parents who work and don't want to take their kids out of school can't. Maybe they're having a hard time getting an appointment at an acceptance facility. They have this opportunity on Saturday, May 2nd, to come down.
And from what times?
From 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're located at 303 North Oregon Street in the Mills Building.
Very good. And does that mean you have to have that long list of documents already?
It does. So it's good
Okay.
to start preparing. Make sure you've got your original proof of citizenship. Have your passport photo taken prior. Make sure you fill out the form. It's going to go faster if you have the form filled out already. Do not sign it if you're a first-time applicant, because you sign in front of us, because you actually have to take an oath. Just
That it's
attesting
you
that it's you and everything else. And we identify you. You know, we collect your valid government-issued, ID and make a copy. Collect your birth certificate. You do leave your original citizenship evidence with us while we process your case, but then it gets mailed back to you.
Okay. Wow. So have you ever had any cases of lost birth
I'm not going to
certificates?
lie to you. Yes, sometimes things get lost, and there's a process for replacing those. A lot of time, if something gets lost, it gets found. Say somebody puts an address on their application and it's incorrect.
Yeah.
And we mail something out. Generally, it'll be returned to us as undeliverable mail, and we'll try to find you. There are cases where we've had that happen, or somebody moves and they neglect to call us and tell us, hey, I need to change my address. That's happened too. But a lot of the time, we have successful outcomes in getting those birth certificates and documents back. But it's good to make a copy of your citizenship evidence anyway.
Yes, and with more reason if you're
Right.
going to apply for a passport. Well, and how many people do you usually get on these days, on these special days?
Last year we got about 500 people. And while
Wow.
that seems crazy and people say, well, oh, I don't want to go down there. That's like standing in line forever. Really, it only took about 45 minutes for an applicant to get through the line. And if they're reapplying, doing a renewal, it's going to be even faster because they don't have to go upstairs. They'll just give us their renewal form if they qualify. Children don't qualify for renewals, but adults whose passports have not been expired more than 15 years would qualify for renewal.
Well, let's talk about that. What if you already have a passport and you're looking at it and you're saying, oh, this is going to expire soon? What is different about the process?
Okay, so right now that we're discussing this, people should get their passports if they have one and look at that expiration date, because a lot of countries require at least 6 months validity for you to enter, and people don't realize that. And
Yeah, you
this
said
has
6
been the
months.
case for a long time. We've just recently started noticing, particularly in European countries, where they're enforcing this more often. So we highly recommend that you have at least 6 months validity on your passports. Even countries like Mexico and Brazil, when you enter, you're flying there, they want to see that you have at least 6 months validity on your passport.
Wow.
So it's really important to look at the expiration date. Now, these
So
people can have the option of mailing it in, mailing in the renewal form. and with their photo and everything else. But
Which
I'm going
you
to
can
tell
get
you,
online?
yes, you can get the DS82 online. But I'm going to tell you now that if they come to the Saturday, May 2nd event from 8 to 1, it's going to be a quicker process. We're in busy season in the passport world. Everybody's applying for their passport so that they can go on that summer vacation or travel abroad. And this is the time when people start thinking, oh, you know, I need to get a passport. So it's high season. Now, while you have the option of mailing it in, you can. The agency's right there, and we process everything right there in-house. So it may be faster to come to us, particularly if you have travel that's coming up soon.
Okay.
And if you want to turn in that renewal application with the $60 expedite fee, then you're going to get it even faster. So that's an option.
So if you participate on Saturday at the Mills office downtown El Paso, you're more likely to shorten that 40-something week.
You will, yeah, you will shorten it.
Okay.
Because we're right there. We're doing it in-house. It doesn't. What shortens it is if you apply somewhere else, it goes in the mail. It has to get to us. From us, we'll start processing it. It has to. Everything gets entered in. But what's going to happen on that Saturday is the next Monday morning, they're going to start entering that in and get it done.
Okay, so it helps you skip a step. So
You
to
do.
speak,
You
in the
kind
mailing
of skip a step. But for those who can't make the Saturday event, our acceptance facilities do great work in accepting passport applications. You can always go on and say where to apply. Put in your zip code and see which is the closest passport acceptance facility for you.
Okay. So people should take a look at their passports right now, see when they expire, and if they expire later this year, you better get your you better think about getting it renewed.
You wouldn't believe how many people are at the airport and then they show up in our office and they were supposed to fly out that day, and they realized when they handed their passport to the agent, or the agent told them, you know that this is expired, or this doesn't have enough validity for you to enter X country, you might have problems. So we do get those emergency cases in our office at 303 North Oregon Street.
Wow, where someone is already about to get on a flight.
Yes,
and
you don't want to be that person.
No.
I mean, you really don't, because
it takes a lot of
stressful.
work.
And then think of the fees you have to pay. You may lose out on your ticket. I mean, your plans. You may have to take time off work, and you're going on vacation. You don't want to spend extra days. So plan in advance. Think about making sure you have your application ready, making sure you have your photo. It's really not that difficult once you've got your paperwork together. Most people have their birth certificate in a safe place. They know where to find it. You can get a passport photo pretty easily. And the form, as I mentioned, you can get at the passport acceptance facilities, or you can download it at www.travel.state.gov.
Okay, so if you miss the Saturday event on May the 2nd, what's your next opportunity to go directly to your office, per se?
Well, you can come into our office and make an appointment at any time by calling 1-877-487-2778. An appointment is recommended. While it's recommended, we do accept walk-ins. But on any other day, you're going to pay the expedite fee. Say you wanted to get your passport, Monica, and you're not traveling until next year. If you come to our office, it's going to be expedite fee of $60, except on that Saturday. So, I mean, you know, you can save money by planning, because a lot of times people, or if you just want it quickly, we do get people who want it because they just want to have the document in their hand, not have to worry about it, and they will come in for expedite service. Also, if you have an emergency, we'll take emergency cases. We do take walk-ins at the agency. We're open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 to the public. The will call pickup time is 2 o'clock, so you can even arrange to apply one day and then you pick it up in a couple of days if you have a trip. And as long as we don't need additional information from you, your photo's not of poor quality. I mean, there are some issues you can run into that can make it take a little longer, but for the most part, you know, if you've got everything in order, you're going to get your passport pretty quickly.
Okay.
Good ID, no temporary ID. That's one of the things we see a lot here.
Okay, like give me some examples of a bad ID.
Well, you know, they'll come in and their ID is really expired, or it's really recent, and or it's temporary. It just says temporary ID on it. We just can't take those. So we may ask for more identification, because the main things that we have to do at the passport agency is our prove your identity and your citizenship. And the burden of proof is on the applicant to do that. We look at the documents, we review them. They have to satisfy the officer that's making the decision. And if they don't, you may get asked for a bit more information. And sometimes people say, well, why? Why do I need more? Well, you know, there's something that may not be quite right, but we do have to, it's a national security function. We're also preventing against, you know, people getting passports who shouldn't have passports. We don't want people entering the U.S. who want to do the U.S. harm, and so we're
it's
careful
not just
about
fun
it.
And vacation.
Right. It's not just fun and vacation, and it's not like going and getting, you know, any other thing. This is your proof of identity and citizenship. Very important document, so safeguard it. You wouldn't believe how many people don't do that, and we get lost and stolen documents that are reported. And if yours does get lost or stolen, you should report it immediately so we can take it out of circulation. Okay. You don't want those lost and stolen documents to get in the wrong hands.
Okay, it's a valuable document.
It
and
is,
it's also
yes.
a matter of security.
Right.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, then what about people, especially here on the border, who have dual citizenship?
Right.
Can you have more than one passport?
Well, there are some people who have dual citizenship. I understand. The United States generally, for consular services, when you're in another country, if you have dual citizenship, that can kind of complicate things if something happens to you, because who has jurisdiction? Yeah. But we do understand that people have that. However, you know, once you take the oath to become a U.S. citizen and get your U.S. passport, I mean, if you're a lot of people, they'll use that as their travel document more often than not.
Okay. And how many passport applications? You said on Passport Day you get about 500 people.
Well, we did one, and one year we got more than that. We had 900, but we kind of have it down to a science now, where you'll only wait about 45 minutes. And of course, Passport Day this year is Saturday, May 2nd, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 303 North Oregon Street. But we move you in quickly, in and out. We have a triage system where you'll come to the office. You'll be in a line maybe with other people, but we'll look at your documents quickly to make sure that you've got everything, make the copies we need, hand it back to you, and we'll take people up in groups. And it'll just be a quick process. Our whole staff is on board that day, and we'll be getting people in and out as quickly as we can, because we know people have other things to do on Saturday.
And is this an annual event?
We've tried to have it every year. We haven't always had it. There was one year when we weren't able to have it, but this year we may even have another one later in September. We'll let you know, because September, of course, is Passport Awareness Month, and we'll probably do something during that month. But for now, we realize that it's the busy travel season. This is when people are thinking of applying, so we really didn't want to wait. But if you miss this event, there are other options.
There are
definitely.
Okay. And like you said, you can also, if you miss on Saturday, you still have options. You can still go to the post office.
Right. You can still, if you're a renewal applicant, you can mail it in and get your passport. It takes 4 to 6 weeks to get a passport, so plan in advance. Check your passport expiration dates long before you head to the airport. Other travel tips include, whenever you get your passport, make a copy of it. Keep it in a safe place. You know, don't keep it with your passport when you travel. Maybe if you travel, take a copy with you that you keep separately, but then also leave a copy. It's secondary proof of citizenship, that copy. Leave a copy with loved ones or somebody who might be able to help you in the event that you're overseas and you need to prove your citizenship.
Yeah, what happens if you're overseas and you lose, or it's lost? You lose it, or it's stolen, your passport.
Then you would find your nearest embassy or consulate, and it's always U.S. embassy or consulate, and it's always good to, before you travel, to really look online and see, okay, I'm going to this country, where is my U.S. embassy or consulate located? Because they'll be the ones that can help you get an emergency passport to return to the United States. So if you have problems overseas, the U.S. consulate, our embassies and consulates are there to assist American citizens overseas.
Okay, okay. And how many passport applications overall do you process in a month or in a year?
Wow, I
say?
wish I had that number for you. I can tell you that it's going up because people are starting to renew more, and since the end of the recession maybe and for other reasons, the number is steadily going up. So we are going to see an increase in demand for passport applications in the next few years. We're already seeing it.
Yeah, and as I understand, the dollar is pretty strong against the euro and even the Mexican pesos.
Right, so maybe more people will be traveling just because it's less expensive to take an overseas trip than maybe it was a few years ago.
Yeah, so even more important to start
Right.
thinking about whether you need a passport or whether you need to renew a passport
Right.
now and plan ahead.
And even if you don't travel, as I mentioned before, to protect against identity theft, it's great to really focus on keeping your documents safe. And if you get documented early, then you have that history of passports. So you're not getting documented for the first time when you're later in life, and it's just easier for somebody to steal your identity if you're not properly documented. So not only is it a travel document, but it's also an identity document.
And you can use it if you're traveling domestically as well as a form of
Yes,
identification?
you can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there any advantage over using your passport versus your driver's license when you're traveling within the country?
I'm not sure. I think that most airlines recognize that it's a secure document, so it's probably going to hold a little more weight than maybe some states' licenses. But I'm not saying some state licenses are fine. I use mine, my driver's license, all the time, but I've used my passport when needed.
Okay.
So.
Well, before we wrap this up, anything else that people should know, keep in mind as they're thinking about their passport, whether they need one or
Right.
to renew?
Well, they should remember that the El Paso Passport Agency is the nearest agency. They should remember that it's $60 extra to get an expedite passport. So if they're ever in a hurry, don't fall for any scams. Just know that the El Paso Passport Agency is there, and we're the bona fide government agency that issues the passport.
Very
So, I
good.
mean, you don't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get it. It's only a $60 expedite fee. That's something to keep in mind. The
Very
other thing
good.
is just...
Well, thank you very much, Jennifer. I appreciate
you.
you coming to talk with us. This has been Fronteras, A Changing America. I'm Monica Ortiz Uribe.